How to deal with negative people? All of us know that each and every person in this world is entirely different from the other one, because the status of the person's mind will be different from the status of the other person's mind. The status of this person's mind again depends on the belief system that the person has and the information that the person has gathered. Therefore, each and every person in this world will have always different ideas and different concept about this world and each and everything around him or her. Some people will be always talking about themselves. Some people will be always talking about others. Some people will be talking about any interesting matter to them, and without considering whether it is interested to that person or not. And some people will be always blaming others, and some people will directly blame the person who he is talking to. That we say some people are good and some people are bad, like that. Some people are not even good and bad. We don't talk about those people. Only we will talk about the people who are bad first and the people who are good at second. So we categorize based on their performance in front of us. And how do we perceive that person and person's activities will determine whether that person is good or bad. The same thing will happen to that person also. Even that person also will have a system within that person and decide the others are good or bad. So, strictly speaking, if we don't like a person, we say that person is bad. If we like a person, we say that person is good. That's all. So this like and dislike will vary person to person. Therefore, some people will like a different group of people, and the same people dislikes another different group of people. Similarly, each and every person in this world will have different idea, different likes and dislikes. Therefore, they like some people, some crowd of people, and they dislike another crowd of people. So everyone will have different opinion about different people. Therefore, we say that person is bad and the same person will be good for the next person. Therefore, we cannot decide that said person is good or bad, because it is bad for me, the same person is good for the other one. Therefore, 50% good and bad is there. Therefore, we cannot say exactly that person is good or not. The same situation arises even in the big crowd. Even the 90% of people can say that particular person is bad. Even the 10 can say that person is good. So these all are depending on how do they assess them and how much performance are taken into consideration. So that is why that usually the rules and regulations are put forward based on the 2/3 majority, or the average will be considered, because nothing is absolute in this world. Therefore, we cannot decide one is exactly this, other one is exactly that, because everything is varying, everything undergoes changing. Therefore, we take the average to decide approximately this is that and impose some regulations based on the majority. Even that is also not correct. Even the 90% of the majority may be wrong. So anyhow, since there are no other ways, so we just consider this as the correct one. That is why we all follow this is correct, this is not correct, and these are goods and these are bads. And we categorize everything in this world like this. So what is good and what is bad, and what is negative and what is positive. So what is righteous and what is unrighteous, or what is conscious, what is unconscious. Actually speaking, there's no such right thing or no such good thing to see, or there's no righteous and no unrighteous. There's no negative and there's no positive at all. Then how do we say that negative and positive? We only can say one is negative or positive when we separate one from the other and comparing with what I have, then I could be able to say the other one is oppositive. Or only I can compare with what I have inside and say a thing outside or the person outside is good or bad or negative or positive. We usually say negative person is the bad person. That is also again based on my reference that I have within me. So if the person that I have within me is good, and with that I compare the person outside and say that person is bad. This person is good inside is right or wrong, that depends on my likes and dislikes. So everything is relative in this world. Nothing is absolute. Therefore, we compare with whatever we have, that is again based on our likes and dislikes, and say the other one is good or bad, or negative or positive, or righteous or unrighteous. The same person can be looked at in a different aspect by another person. So we cannot exactly say one person is always good and one person is always bad. Actually, it is not. So always everything is neutral. But when we separate one component from the neutral one, then it becomes positive and negative. Say for example, atom is neutral. If we take one electron out of the atom, then this becomes ion or positive ion. Then this taken one is electron, therefore it is negative. So when you separate only, this appears as negative and this appears as positive. Otherwise, it will be neutral. So everything is here neutral, unless you separate one component from the other one. So everything is good and bad is our likes and dislikes. When we separate negative from this, and this becomes positive and this is outside is negative, so the bad. These two extreme ends are created only by separation. If you don't know about negative, you cannot say about positive. If you don't know what is positive, you cannot say about negative, because without this cannot appear. So these are all appearance, not the real thing. When it is together, there's no meaning, then it becomes neutral. Therefore, there's no negative or positive, or righteous or unrighteous, or good or bad, but based on our dislikes and likes, this appears as good and bad. And it changes also with time. Or one person can be sometimes good, the next day the same person can be bad. Therefore it changes continuously, because our likes and dislikes also changes with time. Now we know what is good and what is bad, or what is negative and what is positive, and who are negative people. We usually say the person is negative when we don't like the person, that's all. So now we can see how we can deal with those negative people. So if you are in front of a negative person, we know that negative person is based on our likes and dislikes. So if I don't like a person and that same person is coming in front of me and saying something bad about me, then how should I react? This is the question that we want. A person comes and tells bad things about you, usually you will be annoyed and get angry and react against that person. Then it will start with argument and then quarrel. Then it will end up with fight and damaging many persons' mind as well as the properties. So both will meet the destruction. But rather than meeting this kind of destruction, we can handle that person very carefully, and so that it doesn't give any impact both parties. We know the basic aspects of good and bad, and about negative people and positive people. Therefore we can understand a person when they talk about something which I don't like, so that we can inside understand, yes, I don't like, but that person may like it. We have no rights to say that you should not like it because I don't like it. Therefore he may have different likes and dislikes. Therefore he can like, he can dislike, he can't say anything even about me. I can have a inner system inside a filter, something to protect from others' words. So when others say something bad about you, then you can perceive it in a different way, so that doesn't reach you inside, and it will not affect so that it doesn't affect your inner system. Just by understanding about that person, nothing else. And you have your strong confidence about what you do and what you think, whether it is right or not. And if you have enough confidence with what you have, then whatever the people who may say wrong about your concept should not affect, because you have enough confidence about it. You realized it and accepted it as 100% right. That is why you are following it. Then when others say, no, that is wrong or something like that, then you should not be affected or you should not get angry. Therefore, what you have to do is, you can just react to the person with smile. No need to just communicate verbally. Just you can respond with smile only. Only the smile will answer all the negative people. And slowly, when they are going after communicating with you, then they also will be happy. And if possible, you can treat them by showing the positiveness. That also can be done. There are two things you can do. One is with smile, without any reaction. Only the respond with only smile, no verbal talk. Show the positiveness. Because you feel that person is negative, therefore show the positive to be attracted towards yourself. We know that two extreme ends will attract each other. So negative and positive will attract each other, and the same poles will repel each other. So if you find a person in front of you is negative, then you show the opposite one, then it will be attract. Now we know who are negative and positive and what is good and what is bad. Therefore now we can try to handle the person who is negative. So if we know a person in front of me and communicating with me is negative, we only have to understand the person's belief system and his likes and dislikes only. And don't compare with your likes and dislikes and with your concepts. Just see as it is and understand his likes and dislikes and reply only with smile, not through verbal communication. Don't even decide whether you can talk or not. No need to talk about anything. Just the smile will answer all his queries. And when he or she goes from you, and that person will be happy. Or if possible, you can do one thing. You can pray for that person. Then eventually that person's negativity will start to reduce, and then he will gradually will not harm anyone. And this is how you can handle the negative people or even the positive people. Whoever it is, they will be very much satisfied with what they talk to you. And if they talk about negative things, then they will realize later, and gradually they will start to change, and they will not harm others. And the very important one is, you will be protected from those people first. So this kind of neutrality will always save you and save others too. Thank you.